Let me try. I'll show you what I'm talking about.
If it's good, I'll put it up, but I'll let you know.
Well, I'm kind of typing personal information here.
Well, I won't put that up. If I see your dick, I'm out of here.
About what's going on in the WWE with Seth Rollins breaking his dick.
Yeah, he's dead. It's unbelievable. Dead Rollins. No, it's too bad that he's hurt. I really am upset.
Now, I think this gives a chance for somebody now, like an underdog, to step up. Now, I want personally Kevin Owens to step up and get the WWE World Heavyweight Championship.
Yeah, I mean, I'm on board for Kevin Owens. Yeah, I'm on board for that, absolutely.
I just think Vince is not ready to make that full push for Kevin Owens to be WWE
he's
champion.
a Triple H guy, so yeah, I mean, I don't know what Vince thinks of Kevin Owens, to be honest. I have no idea. I mean, there was guys like Kevin Owens who did better in the Attitude Era, you know, so Vince liked them, but you're right, I don't know what. There's a lot of people who don't like Kevin Owens because he's like fat. I mean, I don't get that at all. He's put on some pretty entertaining matches to me. And it actually, you know what? I'd like to bring that up for a second. I'm glad you brought this up. It reminds me of what some of the people in America are like right now. And I've noticed this. This is something I never noticed before in our society that is really sticking out right now. There's like a visceral hate for out-of-shape people, or fat people, or lazy people. And I mean, I've always been someone who does kind of make fun of our country for how fat we are and stuff, but I don't actually have a visceral hate towards anybody about it. I don't think, you disgusting piece of crap, I'm going to go to the gym and work out because I'm good looking, and what kind of piece of trash are you? But I've run into a lot of people who are bodybuilders or who are people who are athletes recently, and they've told me, Joe, I don't really like him. And then really when it comes down to it, I get through, I'm like, well, he's a good wrestler, so how can you not like that? Oh, yeah, he's definitely a great wrestler. And that's what a lot of people say. Oh, yeah, he's a great wrestler. Well, then what's the problem? Well, he's fat, and he just, and it's like, wait, so you just don't like him because he's fat? That doesn't make any sense. Like, he's a good wrestler. I don't like big bodies that can't wrestle. That's what I don't like. Because then that same person will say, well, I love Batista, or I love this guy. Well, that guy's matches suck, most of the time. So it's a narcissistic. It's just this. It's what's going on in the country right now, man. It's gross.
And here's the thing: the bigger the body type, the more bang it's gonna be. Kevin Owens comes in there and he starts beating on somebody. He uses his full body strength and he beats the crap out of him. And he uses that pop-up power bomb. He has a strong center, and he's vicious. He's, the way Kevin Owens is, and this whole build with John Cena and Kevin Owens was definitely interesting. I definitely think that I wish that Owens would have won the United States Championship and taken the United States Championship, and then I just crushed Cena, and from there you have Owens go on and I can tell you how they would book that how they should book Kevin Owens. Have him, at the time, have him go up against Brock Lesnar with the United States Championship, and have him fight Brock Lesnar when he was still the champion, and have him go toe to toe. Even though he's overweight, I can tell you, I would pay decent money to watch Kevin Owens versus Brock Lesnar, and that would be a hell.
All you gotta do is pay $9.99, Tommy. That's all you gotta do. You don't gotta pay decent. You just gotta pay the $9.99. You'll see it all.
Yeah,
you'll see Brock.
You can suck my dick if you pay $9.99.
Yeah, well, you want to talk about big guys? If you the bigger they are, the harder the. As you said, look out for Brock Lesnar because he's gonna run you over.
I'm not afraid of Lesnar. I think I can go up against Lesnar.
I want to tell you something, Tommy. Lesnar don't give a shit about you. Like, he don't give a shit about me. He don't even give a shit about half the about any of the wrestlers who are in the back of him. He doesn't give a shit, and it's not a bad thing. I'm not saying it's a bad thing or anything like that. He just doesn't give a shit. He just wants
a mercenary.
to. He is a mercenary. There's no doubt about it. He wants to come out, get paid, do some shit, go home, and leave me the fuck alone. That's what he wants to do, and it's literally how he really is. It's very interesting to me.
And the thing about it is that nothing about him screams about the fans. He'll go. I've heard he's gone to signings and stuff like that, but the guy doesn't interact with the fans at all. He's just like, "Oh, you're here to see me. Okay, bye bye now. You won't see me until WrestleMania." And I'm like,
that's what he sounds like. He sounds like Superman's dad
Southern
or something.
Country bumpkin. That's what Lesnar sounds like to me.
Yeah, I mean, this thing is he's just raised this way, and I tried to explain this. I was telling Leo this one night because we were talking about people, and we were ranting about a little bit about hunters and things like that. But I said, I don't. There's some people I don't get angry about it at all. Like Lesnar, this is just all he knows. Going out and killing an animal and skinning it and eating it for food and making a use out of it. That's what Lesnar does. He's just used to this thing. This is what he grew up with. He was taught this way. This is all he knows. You can't be angry at him for, because he hunts and stuff like that. This is what he grew up with. This is, like I said, it's all he knows. It's what he does. And it's just the way he is. And he wants to be alone. He wants to be left alone. I mean, that makes me want to talk to you more. Like, to me, like, I want to talk to Lesnar more. I have more questions now for Lesnar than anything because how, he wants to just basically be in seclusion. So it's bizarre. It's interesting to me that he just doesn't like people. He doesn't like the bullshit. He doesn't like, and it's a coldness almost, and it makes me wonder. You know what I mean? What happened to him when he was little, or what went on? I mean, was it just living in seclusion like he did, and then coming into living in seclusion and then being good at something, but then having to deal with the social aspects of being successful as an athlete. That's the thing that just never connects with him, I think. But it's amazing that he can do what he does. Go to WWE studios, go to do an interview, go in this ring in front of thousands of people, and then just want to get the hell out of there to go back to the forest. I mean, that's crazy.
Yeah, and the one thing is, I watched that interview with Stone Cold. So, what kind of music do you like to listen to? And Lesnar's just like, country music. I'm like, I couldn't even finish it. I couldn't even finish the interview because I was just like, Les, come on, ask him hardcore questions. Ask him, like, did you change the script at WrestleMania 30 to screw over the Undertaker? Ask him questions like that, controversial questions. Get down to the nitty gritty. Brock Lesnar, are you a mercenary? Do you want to just get paid by the WWE?
That he got asked. He got asked that. I think he got asked that. I thought it was a great interview. I crapped on it before, and then I actually watched it, and I thought it was actually a really interesting interview. I mean, other than, that question would have been kind of a cool one. What happened at WrestleMania 30? How did that go down? That'd be interesting.
Did you threaten McMahon? Did you put a pencil to his throat and say, if you don't give me the streak, I'm going to quit on you?
I'm going to kill you if you do that again. It is not what Lesnar sounds like. Is that what Lesnar sounds like to you? Dur. What the hell is that? Lesnar sounds like, you're here, I'm here, let's do this. That's what Lesnar sounds like. What the hell is that? What are you doing? Like, what is that? I mean, I got to call you out because you're misrepresenting Lesnar. I mean, like, that's not what he sounds like, right? I mean, come on.
I just think he sounds like a backwoods Southern country bumpkin.
Yes, his makeup and the words he says are very country bumpkin-like, but his actual accent isn't like that at all. You know what I mean? I mean, here you go. Listen to this. Here's Lesnar.
You're here. I'm here. Let's do this.
I mean, that's not, a bumpkin. He would have been like, you're here, I'm here, let's do this. Like, I mean, that's what you're doing.
You're here, I'm here.
I mean, country bumpkin doesn't say, you're here, I'm here. Like, he sounds normal. What the hell are you doing to him, Tommy?
I guess because I just don't like them,
Yeah.
and so I'm
Yeah.
all about the positivity. But when it comes to wrestling, there's a different level of as I
Of
say,
hatred.
crap. When it comes to the typical level of positivity, and when it comes to wrestling, I can kind of let go of that positivity and then take my fist and shove it up the WWE's ass and let it go.
Yeah, you kind of
Uh,
throw out all the things that your channel preaches positivity and being happy and stuff, but you kind of throw it all out the window with wrestling. Like it's interesting.
it's a hobby. Wrestling is it's one of those things that you can, your job is positivity, but at the same time, you can let it go. You can like kind of put it to
Yeah,
the side.
you know what, Tommy, I know exactly what you're talking about. It's like being a priest. You're like, my job is to, worship God and teach all these other people to worship God, but I'm going to go fuck some little boys over here as my hobby.
Whoa, nothing like that. Nothing like what I'm doing. That's two different things. Like,
Well,
oh
no,
my
no,
god.
no. I mean, you're not doing that, but I mean, it's the same. I mean, it's like, your thing is, positivity and friendliness, and we're all together. Except when I'm watching wrestling, fuck that guy. I'll shove my fist in his ass. But with a priest, it's like, holy God, and everything is great. But those little kids over there look all right to me. Hobbies.
Oh,
I get it,
jeez.
Tommy.
That's greasy.
Yeah, I mean, that's another level there. But the analogy went a little far. But I get what you're saying.
Yeah. I tell you what. I got into wrestling because I hooked up with. I have friends with a lady friend that likes wrestling, and that's why I got into wrestling to know what she liked.
You got into a wrestling because you hooked up with a girl?
No, I got into wrestling because I liked a girl.
Okay, all right. That's even weirder. Wait a minute. So you got into wrestling because she liked wrestling and you didn't know what it was?
Yeah, I didn't. She told me.
Don't ever tell this
John
story.
Cena's name, and I said,
God.
"Who's John Cena?"
Wow. Don't ever tell this story again. You know how I got into wrestling? I was 5 years old and I saw the Macho Man versus Hulk Hogan, 1988, I think. I was a little kid. I was 5, and I saw them. I saw the match. I saw the thing live just for the first time, and then so I think Hulk Hogan got busted open and he started bleeding, and I just thought it was the most amazing spectacle. I was like, "What is happening? What is this?" And then when I went to the video store, I finally started seeing the pictures of the wrestlers, and everything just looked crazy. They looked unimaginable. The Ultimate Warrior, a few years later, just ripped and looking crazy. The year after, Hulk Hogan just looked larger than life. When that music hit, Real American, you just got pumped up. You just were like, go get that bad guy. You know what I mean? Go get the bad guy. You couldn't, as a kid, I mean, it was so easy to be sucked into that.
Can you imagine going back to the old days and back to the situation? There was a situation that happened a long time ago. I don't know if you pointed it out or somebody else pointed it out. Basically, during a house show, what is it? What was his name?
You talking about You talking about the curtain call, or what are we talking about?
Bray Wyatt.
Bray Wyatt. Okay.
Is fighting against Roman Reigns, and he gets busted open in the match. And Triple H runs out, gets up on the curtain, and he smacks him on the chest, and he's like, "Get in the back." Can you imagine? Take it back to where Vince is doing everything, and Hulk Hogan gets busted open. Vince runs out there, and it's one of the most amazing matches between Macho Man and between Hulk Hogan. And Vince runs out there right in the middle of a show and smacks him on the chest, and he says, "Get in the back and sew yourself up."
Yeah.
Can you imagine how?
That's a great point. That is a great point, Tommy. This is really a good point you just brought up. That is so interesting. And you know what? I forgot about that. I completely forgot about that. You're right. There's video of that on YouTube. Triple H smacking him, telling him to get the hell out of there and get finished with it. However, I don't remember the circumstances. And I can't remember now, but people in attendance, I believe, said this was part of the story. Like Triple H had came down to be in his corner somehow, and he was telling him to pin him or something. And I now I don't remember what is real and what is, what was supposed to happen. I don't remember what's kayfabe and what's real, or if it all was just part of the show. I don't remember that now. I'd have to go back and study that to let you know. And in fact, let's do that, because I want to come up with an answer to this. Hold on one second. All right, so we're back. Hold on a second. So I'm watching the video here. All right, so Triple H is yelling at the referee a bunch. He's distracting the referee. He's walking around the outside of the apron. He's yelling at Wyatt. He's yelling at Flair. He's screaming at the referee. It's the weirdest thing. I'm trying to figure out where. Okay. Okay, so you know what? Triple H is on the outside of the ring screaming at Wyatt and screaming at every Flair and the referee throughout this thing. This whole thing was a setup. This was all a work.
A work, okay, because I thought that was actually breaking a work and going into realistic point of WWE doesn't want blood in their product, and you can't. You're always going to have blood when you're physically fighting somebody, And the whole incident with Lesnar and Taker fighting each other, when they busted each other both open, I looked at Lesnar and I'm like, that guy does steroids. I'm like, because he was busting out bleeding, like he was gushing blood. I'm thinking, okay.
Yeah, dude, you know what? Yeah, continue, Tommy. Sorry.
People, there's still, I can tell you, there's probably still steroid use in the WWE, but, they have these annual checkups, but I think that, because if you took a metal chair to the head every single night, I doubt that you would be seeing you would not be seeing correctly because, I still think that there's steroid use in the WWE.
Well, forget all that. Why the fuck do you have a hat on now? I'm just kidding. It's all right. But no, seriously, dude, I want to say that this is definitely a work because Triple H was running over, slaps Wyatt, tells him to get Cena. Then Triple H runs to the other side of the ring, and then as Bray Wyatt's doing Sister Abigail or whatever on Cena, he reverses it and throws Wyatt into Triple H, and Triple H gets knocked off the apron. So no, that was all kayfabe. That was all a plan. It was all a work. Bray Wyatt bleeding had nothing to do with anything Triple H did. So that did not happen. So I'm glad we went back and looked at it because I was about to go off because I forgot exactly what happened. But no, that was a total work. And there's a video up that was not up during that time. During that time, or at least that I saw, during that time there was only that one video from the corner that showed him slapping Bray Wyatt. And the news article said it was like Triple H was mad at Wyatt. Well, that's not what happened. I can definitely tell now by looking at this. The whole thing was a work. It just happens to be that Ric Flair's ring, accidentally made contact with Wyatt's face, and he happens to be bleeding. So that's all that happened there, man. So you don't like Lesnar, we got that. And you know what? I got to tell you, Tommy, I hated Lesnar back in the day. When Lesnar came out, and this was probably before you even started watching wrestling, the Lesnar to me is still a new guy. And I mean, he's not a new guy, but to me, he was always new because I stopped watching for a few months here or there, and I stopped watching around the time Lesnar showed up because I was like, I didn't like what was happening. I didn't like The Rock versus Lesnar and all that stuff. I just wasn't into it for some reason. Stone Cold was a little bit out of the picture, and I wasn't into it that much, and I didn't like Lesnar. But now I do like him now because when he's in a match, I don't know what's going to happen. The guy might break his damn neck because he throws himself all over the place. I have to watch a Brock Lesnar match. I never know if someone's going to get hurt, if he's going to get hurt, if he's going to do something crazy. He's probably going to bleed. Is he going to rip a car door off and throw it and hit a fan? I mean, you don't know what is going to happen when Brock Lesnar's out there. That's the one thing about it. And before, I didn't like his hype. I didn't care about the hype. I wasn't a Lesnar person, but I love watching him now. And because normally I like a small guy. I like a Shawn Michaels, a Daniel Bryan, somebody like that. And I like Kevin Owens, but I don't usually like a big guy like Brock. But Brock actually entertains me as opposed to some of these other guys, like maybe a Batista or something. I think Batista is a great guy as a person. I think he seems like the coolest dude. Batista, I'd love to hang out with him. But I don't know but I don't always enjoy the matches he's in.
I cracked up and I was watching the Royal Rumble, and that's when he came back to the WWE during the Royal Rumble match. And I'm expecting this brutal machine, the Beast, the Carnage, the Beast. Oh no, that's Brock Lesnar's name. But I was expecting Dave Batista to come back and be like this big buff machine. What do I get? no more steroid use, cutting back on the steroids, hasn't been wrestling in a while, and he's getting thrown around
Wait a
that
minute.
ring and just
You're mad that he wasn't on steroids? Like
no,
that's what
I
it
wasn't
sounds
mad
like.
because of, like he kind of like it's like that's what happens, kids. If you take steroids, you stop taking it, you're gonna get smaller.
Well, that is in fact what is going to happen. But he won the fucking Rumble anyway. So I mean, what do you I don't get it.
Well, it cracked up because back in the day, Batista would have never let himself get knocked around like that in the ring, and it just shows you his age was showing when he was getting knocked around the ring like that. I'm thinking Batista would have handled himself better back in the day, and I know he's older now.
He won the Rumble though. He won the Rumble. I mean, like,
I know.
Back in the day, he didn't win the Rumble.
But where did he go with that? Honestly, Dan. I mean, Joe. Tell me, Joe. The thing is, where did he go with that? He didn't go anywhere. He just complained because they didn't have a good storyline, and they were giving the belt to,
Daniel Bryan, and they don't like. And first of all, Batista hates the PG crap. That's why he can't stay here. He doesn't. He just came in to do that thing. They promised him the title. They said, "Come back. We're gonna give you the title. It'll be a big return thing." And people blah blah. And then it wasn't. It was Daniel Bryan, and then he left. That's what happened. He came in to do his deal, and then he left. I mean, that's all that happened. I think he came back like Jericho would.
Yeah, and I like that the fact that Jericho is actually doing something. He goes out and he does his own music stuff, and I think it's interesting when wrestlers go out and they show their other talents, and they're like,
well, so what about Batista though? He was in fucking the biggest movie almost of the year.
I haven't seen the movie yet, but
You didn't see Galaxy fucking? You don't see Guardians of the Galaxy?
No, I have not seen it yet.
Jesus Christ, dude.
I find myself looking at the movie and I think, do I want to waste an hour of my life watching this? And I'm thinking, it did go to theaters technically.
It did go to theaters technically. It was one of the biggest movies of the year. What is wrong with you? You got Zombieland behind you, for Christ's sake. You got a fucking Godzilla poster behind you.
Okay, Godzilla was a good movie. Okay, that was
the last one that just came out.
Yes,
it was horrible. What are you on drugs, dude?
Okay.
You're on drugs. You didn't see Guardians of the Galaxy, and you got a Godzilla poster behind you, and you just told me that you didn't see Guardians of the Galaxy because you have given up an hour of your life. First of all, what the fuck movie is an hour long nowadays? What movie is an hour long? First of all, it's a two-hour something movie. Second of all, it's Marvel. And third of all, it was the best, one of the best movies of the year. I figured it was a movie you would like.
Technically, I'm a DC guy. I like I like DC more because it's more dark and cynical.
I'll tell you what, Tommy, I'm there with you. I'm a DC guy too. I'm more of a DC guy. I'm not a Marvel guy. When I was a kid, I didn't have fucking Iron Man. I had Batman. All right? And I had Superman and Batman when I was a kid. I wasn't a Marvel guy. I'm not a Marvel guy. I didn't have Thor. I didn't have anything. I didn't have any of that stuff. I had Batman and Superman. That's what I had. And when these movies were coming out, I was like, I never really cared that much about Marvel, but I'll go see it anyway. And then I saw Iron Man and was like, damn, that was good. And the Avengers, they were fun action movies. I think Guardians is better than any of the Avenger movies. I think Guardian was better for me. I can watch it over and over more. Where the Avengers movies, I can't really watch those over and over. That they're more like really fun, like the Fast and the Furious movies. Like the Fast and the Furious movies are dumb as shit, but they're fun while you're in the theater to watch, even though they're unbelievable. But Guardians of the Galaxy, a movie you think would be less believable somehow than Marvel and the Iron Man stuff, was better. I kind of like Thor too, and I never thought I would say that. So you might want to check it out.
And one thing I want to touch upon also is I was watching the new trailer for the Star Wars movie, and it got me thinking. I'm thinking, okay, Star Wars has been a big name in the Hollywood industry. It's been one of the biggest names, and now they're coming out with Episode 7, and everybody's freaking out. But what people don't realize is there's a couple more trilogies behind this, and I'm thinking now, like, people are going to get soaked in their mind, and this new movie, Episode 7, is going to blow up box offices, and it's going to be insane. Are you going to go see it on opening night?
I want to see it on opening night, but I probably am not going to be able to see it on opening night because there's no tickets left. I'm going to have to go see it on the third night. But you know what? The third night will be like opening night because it's going to be just as crazy because these will all be people seeing it for the first time. I will I loved seeing episode 3 in the theater. I think for some reason the fans that I was there it was hot, man. People were screaming during things, and we're talking about the prequels, which were just, you know, were not the best. But that episode 3, man, people were hot in the theater. People were ready to go, and I really enjoyed it. And if this is anything like that, I mean, this is gonna get really emotional. By the way, Godzilla 74% rating on Rotten Tomatoes. Holy shit! Guardians of the Galaxy get a 91.
One thing I liked about the look with Godzilla was his bulkiness, and Godzilla's bulky. He's a bulky
You like
monster.
big guys. You like big fucking ripped people. I just figured this out. You like fat ass Owens, and you like Batista when he was buffing on steroids. But when he came back and he wasn't buffed and crazy on steroids, you don't like Batista anymore. And you don't like Guardians of the Galaxy because they're all small. Even Groot, who's big, isn't big enough for you because Godzilla's there. That's what this is. I figured it out. I figured out the formula here. Holy shit. So if I gain like 200 pounds, you might bang me. Like, I mean, like, even though I'm a guy, you might do it because it's just so attractive to you. You're looking for the fattest bitch in the crowd tonight. You know, you got dude, you're looking for the fattest bitch in the crowd. You get the VIP on Swole. That's what you got.
As for girls, I like a girl that is.
Oh, here we go. There, get those big bottom girls, those big badass booty bitches for TommyNC2010. Tommy Talks. Look at this. You got the VIP on the Swole, brother. Me and my dogs on a Friday night, looking for the fattest bitch in the crowd tonight.
Yo, I saw this girl coming down the side. She had a donk about the size of a can. I saw her coming down the way. I couldn't say, by gosh, girl, turned sideways. I couldn't see man away.
Got the VIP on Swole. Gucci belts on. All right, what are we doing here?
A collaboration between TommyNC2010 and the World Heavyweight Reviewer Champion, Joe Cronin.
Well, Tommy, you'll never be on this again if you don't see Guardians of the Galaxy. I'm sure Godzilla was entertaining, which I'm sure it was, because I was thinking about going to see it to be entertained by it a little bit, but I knew it was going to be that good. And listen, let's face it, all reviews, just because people say one movie is better than the other doesn't mean it is. But I know for a fact in my brain that Guardians of the Galaxy is better than fucking Godzilla. You can like Godzilla more, though. That's not a problem. We all have whatever, you know what I mean? There's things I like that I know aren't as good as something else technically, but I like it better anyway. That's the truth. That's how all shit goes. I'm trying to think of something that I like. I like the movie The Rock with Sean Connery. It's a ridiculously stupid movie, but I just love this movie. It's so stupid. It's an action movie. It's dumb. But I can't help it. I love it. And
there's a lot of things that you see in the movie that physically cannot happen, and Hollywood has that way of taking your brain out of your skull, and you're just like, oh,
yes,
it's so pretty colors.
That's what they do. Now, and that's what they did. They did that a little bit with Guardians of the Galaxy, but they also did it with Godzilla. But they do it with a lot of movies. They really do it with the Fast and the Furious movies. Those movies, I mean, you want to talk about stupid people. Like this, we're going to get people to go see 8 or 7 of these or whatever they're on with these stupid movies. This is the dumbest franchise in the history of anything. And they're making billions and trillions of dollars on this stupid shit. It's unreal. It's almost unbelievable. But hey, if they're making money, they don't give a crap, you know? Because what they've done is, just like with everything else, you suck in a core of people who maybe... So you suck in people who aren't that into movies, who aren't nerdy and aren't particular about movies. You're sucking in the common folk. Somebody who's like, I don't really go to movies that often, but I'm going to see Fast and the Furious. You know, you're getting all these people to get to the theater that otherwise don't really go to the theater. That's who you're getting with those movies. Plus everybody else.
And the idea of cinema and between TV and shows, there's no such thing as the villain anymore. People have fallen in love with Heisenberg and the whole Breaking Bad, and also Weeds, and where people are fixated on the villain. And there's no such thing as a drug dealer, that it's just them trying to make money, trying to survive. And there's the anti-villain. They're like, oh yeah, let's show you the side of the drug dealer, the big powerful drug dealer. That's Walter White. And in today's society, people root for the bad guys.
Well, in the late 90s, that's when that really took place. That's when people were really rooting for the bad guys in the late 90s. And that's why the WWE did what they did, and Stone Cold became the face. I mean, but Tommy, that's always been how it is too. It's not just now. I know that it looks like that with all those shows, but there's a lot of good guy shows now too. And actually, in the late 90s, people were rooting for bad guys more than they're rooting for bad guys now. But it's always been like that, dude. Who's the most? You know what I mean? Who had the most Halloween costumes back when Batman: The Dark Knight came out? Was it Batman or was it Joker? I guarantee you, it was Joker, and he's the bad guy. He's the bad dude. People like the bad guy. You relate to a bad person. When a bad person isn't just when a bad person is like a real person, like we all are, and doesn't have a mental disorder and he's crazy, but when he has when he's doing things that make sense for bad reasons, you can relate to him. Look at, for instance, like like Star Trek, the remake Star Trek 2009. Nero, he's a bad dude from Romulus. His planet gets destroyed. His wife and kid are dead. So now he wants to get even and blow up their planets. You know what I mean? Well, you know, he's gone crazy. You know what I mean? I can relate to how upset he is. You know, things that they do with bad guys. Walter White, you can relate to that struggle that he's having, and what he's doing with the drugs and things like that. All these things you can relate to these people. You wouldn't quite go there, but you can relate to them in so many different ways. And we root for a bad guy sometimes. That's what happens a lot because they're interesting, and many things they do remind us of them of us. So it's just what happens. It's what always has happened. That's why you need a villain, a good guy, and a bad guy. And sometimes you root for the bad guy more.
I explained to my friend the other day, I said, I think Hollywood cheeses up the Joker too much, and I said the Joker is the kind of guy that would walk up to you, slit your throat, and then blow your brains out, and then sticks his finger into your bullet wound, and then licks it and says, tastes like strawberry.
Wow.
That's the kind of person the Joker is. He will, slit your throat, do that, and then pull your tongue out and say, ooh, a necktie.
What comic did he do that in?
That's just how I imagine the Joker
so
is.
That's no. So that's your Joker. Your Joker's a fucking homicidal maniac.
He is a homicidal maniac.
Well, but I mean, like, you know, there's no reason to that. So who can relate to that? If you, Tommy, if you put that on the screen, nobody can relate to that. The Joker just goes, tastes like strawberry, after he slits your throat, blows your brains out, rapes you with his dick or something, and then puts his finger in you and says, tastes like strawberry. Nobody can relate to that. So nobody's going to like him. Everybody's going to hate him. In fact, some people are going to say, this movie's disgusting, I'm leaving. This is disgusting, I'm leaving. Other people are going to say, what the hell is this movie? What is going on? And people will be puzzled, grossed out. Some people will laugh because I would laugh. This sounds insane. I want to see this Joker actually myself, but I'm the exception. You know, other people aren't going to relate to that. But the Joker in The Dark Knight, yes, he has a knife. Yes, he's menacing. He's trying to work with the mob. He's entertaining without going over that line. He's entertaining in a cunning and charming way. That's how the devil would be, by the way. If you're a religious person, the devil doesn't go, look, I'm the devil, I'm murdering everyone. No, the devil says, hey, let me help you. Watch this. And then you get sucked into doing something bad because of whatever. I don't believe in religion, but that's what the devil sort of is. So that is exactly what you would want to do, because that's more entertaining, that's more relatable, that's more interesting. And also the Joker in that Dark Knight movie, the new Joker, Heath Ledger's Joker, you don't know about his past. Where did he get those scars from? Was he beaten as a kid? Was he tortured as a kid? Did he have a problem with his father? I can relate to that. I've always, what is happening here? People don't understand him. People don't understand me. There's lots of things that you can relate to him. I wish I could be as outgoing and badass as the Joker was. I also wish I could be as badass as Batman. All those things. But if he did the blow your brains and you know what I mean, and taste like strawberry, a lot of people are off of that ship. That narrows your audience down, way down. I'm game for it, because I'm a sick prick.
For instance, okay, if you look at I've seen bits and pieces. If you look at The Killing Joke, he actually he guns down Commissioner Gordon's daughter,
right,
and puts her in a wheelchair, and he plays with Batman's. I don't know if that. I think that was The Killing Joke. There was a series where he cut his face off, and he actually made like he kidnapped all of the Batman family, and he basically took off their faces. Now that right there is sick and demented, and how crazy the Joker is.
I will tell you, Tommy, I think you are in this new Suicide Squad with Jared Leto's Joker. I think you are going to get some of that. I think you're going to get more than that than you got out of the Heath Ledger Joker. The Heath Ledger Joker didn't need any of that because he was already it was unbelievable what he was doing with that and what they were doing with that character in that show. But the new one, the Jared Leto one, I think you're going to see some torture. Like, you're going to see some torture. You're going to see him act a little bit sicker. He's not going to be the same thing as Heath Ledger, so you may get a little bit of what you're looking for with this new one, and I believe that. And it may be Harley Quinn that he tortures, because, there's lots of stuff about how she becomes Harley Quinn and follows him and all that other stuff. A comparison would be, they could go the route of him torturing her and keeping her captive and making her his slave. They could go that route. They might not, but they could. And you could, what's his name? What's his name in Game of Thrones, where the guy gets he fillets the dude and he keeps him captive and he does all kinds of sick shit to him, and then the guy basically follows him around and obeys him the rest of the time. That's kind of what they could get into. I don't know if they will go into that, but you're gonna see some more darkness out of this thing. You may get some of what you wanted, is basically the point. I could have ended it with that. So get ready for that. And I know you're interested in movies too. I said, some people who don't like movies a lot might, like movies that are on the lower end. But no, you're really into movies. I know that. And that's why I think you should see Guardians of the Galaxy, because I can't believe that you wouldn't like it. But maybe you're more demented than I thought. We need so your best thing would be the greatest thing for you would be if the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man raped, murdered people and and all this stuff in a movie. You'd be unbelievable because he's huge. Maybe he'd be on steroids too. So it'd be the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man on steroids, murdering and slicing people up and licking their body and blood as he goes through a town.
Well, that's different with each character. There's different characters that are different things, and with more of the Joker, he's a different character too. He's a very complex character, and with every character, they have their own destiny. Every character has his own way of doing things. Two-Face, he flips a coin and he makes his judgment. You live, you die. That's his philosophy. Every character has a breakdown. If you break down that character, there's a lot of labels inside of a character itself. And when you become a character, you're not just becoming that character, you're becoming that person as a character. When people don't understand it, when actors are in movies, they're not just becoming themselves, they're becoming that person. They scratch their butt that way, they pick their nose that way, they move their hand a certain way. In the movie Scarface, I didn't know, I thought that I didn't know who that actor was that was playing Scarface. I thought that was a straight up gangster back when I first watched that movie. Actors are so good that they can become a character without even knowing it, becoming that person, that individual person. And once you take that character and then you transform it, it's almost like it's not even a character. You're that person. You're the Joker. You're Tony Montana.
I think they do know it, and I think that's their goal. That is the actor's goal. Some of these guys sit in a room by themselves for hours doing this shit. Heath Ledger, basically, had issues sleeping and stuff, and doing this character, staying up and really freaking out about this character. It might have been what killed him. We don't know. I mean, technically it wasn't what killed him, but I mean, it's what led maybe to his death, his stress, his issues with sleeping that got worse. So yeah, these guys know it. They absolutely do go into those characters, because you have to. And even a guy like Jim Carrey, a comedian, he's gone into characters, and you end up pissing people off around you, losing some friends, and all kinds of shit. Hold on, what the hell is going on? Oh yeah, Jesse was texting me. Hey man.
Oh yeah, I just said I'm talking to Jesse too. I was.
Hey Jesse, I'm doing a show with TommyNC2010. You're gonna like this. Get ready. I'm gonna upload it soon. All right, so there you go. I think what we're doing is great here, by the way. This ain't monetized this, but we're having some fucking fun. And Tommy, I wanted to talk to you about that because people really want monetized this. They don't want that to end. And I'm starting to think, I don't really want it to end either. But I've got to get a new crew together because Jesse isn't going to be doing it because he's got a lot of problems and sitting up and all that shit. But if I could get like you and Frenchie Ben and me and maybe Dave.
Let me know. Like, just give me, my phone number. You just give me a buzz, and if I can make it home, I'll do monetize this with you, dude. Like, you just let me know what days you do it. I'll come straight home and set up and get the microphone ready. And, dude, I'll be 100% ready for monetize this.
I do it every Friday at 11:30. We can
every Friday. Ooh, okay. But yeah, I could do my best to be here at 11:30 and be ready for you.
All right, well, we'll hang out. What's up to what?
Is it just as I'm playing it, or is it like 400,000 degrees?
It's hot as shit in here. I'm dying in here.
I'm fucking dying.
Leah just asked me why it's hot. Yeah, that's what Gavin was saying. Gavin didn't want to be in here earlier because it got hot. Dude, it's hot right now. I don't know. It's in Boston. It should be cold right now. And it just randomly gets warm now. It got warm and humid today. And now the room I'm boiling in here. And it's like, what the hell is going on with the weather? We don't know what's going on.
I think also when you're in a room with a computer, also you have to remember when it's running, it projects heat too. It does it with my computer too. I'll be sitting in front of my computer. I'm like, why is it so high here? Oh, I'm standing in front of a computer here.
Leah's giving you a very weird face right now, Tommy. No, you're right. It does get hot with the computers, but no, this is something else, dude. This is the whole room is hot. It is screwed in here. It is hot. Like it's crazy. It's like when it's hot outside, then it gets cool at night, but the heat still stays in the house. It's ridiculous. Dude, what about all right? So we got Star Wars coming out. I'm obviously pumped for that. That's something like I said, you talk about wrestling. WrestleMania 5 for me in 1987 or 88, I forget which year it was, but it was the first time I really saw wrestling. And I connected with it because my dad's watched it. But my dad also watched Star Trek with me, and that's why I love Star Trek so much, because the TV shows of Star Trek are so good, and I love them. And I also love Star Wars because my dad watched Star Wars with me. Now, if people are out there that don't know a lot about Star Wars versus Star Trek, the real thing you need to know is Star Trek has awesome television. Star Trek is primarily television shows, and they're awesome. But Star Wars is movies. Star Trek also has movies. Even though there's like 11 Star Trek movies, or 12 now, 12 Star Trek movies, the Star Trek movies are not as good as the Star Wars movies. But the TV show for Star Trek is great, and that's what you need to know. But Star Wars is coming out. Are you excited about this, Tommy?
I am excited. I'm definitely. I would say that necessarily I am not deep into being a Star Wars fan, but I do like following the series of Star Wars. I wouldn't say I'm a Trekkie. I wouldn't say I'm a Star Wars guy, but I'm an independent guy that's in between and likes to view the certain products. I would say I would take the side of Star Wars more than Star Trek, because there's more hardcore matches and fights between with the lightsaber battles, and in between with Star Trek they kind of got more with the newer movies that they made, the remakes of the Star Trek idea of telling you how everything started, and it gave definitely a more gritty taste to the Star Trek feeling of what Star Trek was. It wasn't just some floating ship on some fishing rod, and it's not some people just sitting in a garage with a big studio camera. It was actually, professional Hollywood, green screen.
Tommy, you're making me want to kill you right now. I mean, you're you're gonna make me lose my mind, bro. No, it's the TV series looked great. I don't know what you're talking about. I'm talking about the Next Generation looked great. You're gonna bring fanboy out. It's gonna make me go crazy. Star Trek in movies, professional movies done in Hollywood. Star Trek 2 is in Hollywood. It's a big production.
I guess I told you I'm not.
I think it's the most bizarre thing with you, because when you know about something, you really like it and you go into it. But when you don't know about something, you have all the standard preconceived notions about it that you haven't seen it. Like you know what I'm saying? Like you really go into all the stereotypes of something, like when you haven't seen it. It's very interesting to me. Like the original Star Trek series before Star Wars came out was that was the one on the ship, the Jim Kirk and the yellow and the goofy old crappy costumes and shit, because it was back in the late 60s, for Christ's sake. But when I got into Star Trek, I got into the Next Generation in the 80s, and things looked a little bit better. But the Star Trek movies were never as good as Star Wars. They weren't. If you go back and watch any Star Trek movie, they're not going to be as exciting as Star Wars. Star Wars is more fantasy and exciting. You could just come out of nowhere and watch a Star Wars movie and like it and understand what's going on. You don't have to whatever. Star Trek, you can't just start watching something. You need to start at the beginning and figure out what everything is. And that's why if you put on Star Trek for someone who hasn't seen it, randomly, you just put on something random Star Trek, a lot of times the person goes, I don't know what the fuck's going on. Why do I? But for me, they're both emotional. Both things are emotional. And the thing that I love, because there was times when I was younger when I only chose one or the other. I chose Star Trek over Star Wars. I'm so glad that I love them both. I'm so happy that I love Star Wars and I love Star Trek, because they're both the best thing in the world to me. I love these two things so much. I care about them both so much. There's so much. Star Trek and Star Wars are like football and baseball, Tommy. The reason why they're like football and baseball is because Star Wars, there's only 6 movies. Sure, there's little cartoon shows and a few other things in games, but not really. There's really 6 movies. That is it. The America loves football because it only happens once a week. Every week, one day, football, and it's huge. But baseball is also big, but not as big as football. But baseball games, your team plays almost every other day or every day. So you get a lot of baseball games, but it's not as big as football. Just like Star Trek. There's hundreds of Star Trek series episodes. There's the original series, there's Next Generation, there's Deep Space Nine, Voyager, and Enterprise. That's 5 series with 7 seasons. Well, not all of them, but that's a lot of shit. So it's watered down more. And then there's also 12 Star Trek movies. 12 Star Trek movies, 5 series, but Star Wars is only 6 movies.
Because it's more detailed. It
put you to sleep talking about it. Look at this.
No.
You're right. You're right. It is more detailed, Tommy, and it does take more to get invested into it.
Yes, more. Particularly, I have to say a series that I like here, and I got from Mailbox Monday, if you remember, the Freddy Krueger movies. Now, there's several Freddy Krueger movies.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it draws you in, because I wouldn't say that I like Freddy Krueger, but he is definitely taunting. He's a taunting character.
Yeah.
He messes with your head.
Yeah.
He takes your fears.
Right.
And he messes with you. And, but Jason, on the other hand, is a character that is bloodthirsty. He's a tank. He keeps killing and killing and killing and killing till everybody's dead.
I knew you were going to go to murder. We were talking about Star Trek and Star Wars, and you're going to go to murder. I knew it. I knew you were going to go to murder. You are a psychopath. I love it. I love it. That's why you like Godzilla, because Godzilla's killing everyone, and you like Zombieland because the zombies are killing them, and they're killing zombies. Oh, I figured it out. You get the Joker on the wall; he kills people. You like people killing people. There's not enough death in Star Trek for you. I get it now. This makes perfect sense, Tommy. I know what's going on. Dude, that's incredible. I loved Freddy Krueger. When I was little, I liked Freddy Krueger also, and Jason. I had a big fixation on Jason and Freddy Krueger because when I was little, I came from that time of, you know what I mean, a lot of the older kids were from the core of the 80s when those horror movies were going on. So the older kids thought Jason and Freddy were so cool, and that was cool to like that, so I liked it. And, you know, obviously, you know, it was just a big deal. Freddy and Jason and those Friday the 13th movies, I love that stuff. I did love it. And it just like not as much as like the Star Wars and Star Trek thing, but I love horror movies too. So I do love horror movies. I'm right there with you. And the reason why I like Star Trek and Star Wars is because there's always this feeling of bad, but then there's hope too. And that's what I like about both things. You see the human element in Star Trek. You really do. You see the human element, and that's what you get in Star Wars as well. But in Freddy Krueger, I just want to see people get creeped out and get murdered. I mean, that's what we're into. I mean, let's see these people get chopped up. You know, Final Destination was a good one when you get to see the people get murdered in those movies. What'd you think of Final Destination? Maybe you like that people died there, but there was no actual person doing the killing, so maybe you didn't like it.
It was definitely too realistic for me sometimes, the Final Destination movies, because it definitely...
Wait a second. Freddy and Jason and all that's not good. Zombieland zombies and then Godzilla, but that was too realistic? Oh, wait a minute. No, I take it back, Tommy. You were right. You're right. It is more realistic than that stuff. It actually is more realistic because you could die because of all those things. So you're right. I take it back. You are right. Because seriously, you're right. Godzilla, that's not really realistic. Zombieland, that's not too realistic. But being on the highway and getting run over by some logs, that is realistic, and that's what happens in Final Destination.
Or you're in a roller coaster, and all of a sudden, as you're on that roller coaster, it ejects you off, or you're on an airplane, you're halfway in the air, and you're just like, oh shit.
Yeah. So I get it now. Dude, you were totally right. For a second, I was gonna rag on you. You are absolutely right. So that you don't like that because you think it's too close to home that this could happen, and that freaks, you know, then you start, because there's not a day almost every other day, I want to say, I see something, and I just say Final Destination. Like, I'm always thinking about it. Like, if I slip in the bathtub, this cord over here could go in. Like, I'm always thinking of shit. So actually, thank you, Final Destination, for, you know, allowing me to be safer in my everyday life, because you've given me things to be freaking terrified of.
And also, the fact is, another thing you should be afraid of is your wife.
Oh my God! Why is that, Leah? I should be afraid of you.
Because she might try to collect on your health insurance.
Oh, she might try to collect on my health insurance. Well, right now it's only worth $200,000, but yeah, she could. Huh? Leah, are you gonna kill me for my health insurance?
You mean life insurance?
Life insurance. Yeah. Tommy said health insurance, and I said it too. Yeah, Tommy, we mean life insurance.
Yeah, life insurance.
She's not gonna kill me. If she kills me, we won't have health insurance.
I have health insurance.
Yeah, but she'll be able to buy whatever she wants with the $200,000, I guess. Come kill me.
Oh, we're just gonna live off Daddy. He fell down the stairs accidentally.
Yeah, he fell. Daddy had to fall down the stairs. I mean, Daddy fell down the stairs. We don't know what happened. He tripped on something, and he's dead now. No, I've been thinking about that because I can get, for $20 a month, I can get like $3 million for $20 a month or something. These things are crazy. No, but yeah, for like $5 a month, it buys me like $300,000 of life insurance. $5 a month. So I mean, I'm gonna get that, and it's for 20 years. It's locked in for 20 years that way until the next time. So I'm gonna get it, because screw it, dude. You know what I mean? What if I get in a car accident? What if, who knows what happens? Then, I mean, honestly, it really is important. People out there, and I'm not joking about this, I'm being serious. If you have kids or have a family, please do get life insurance. And I'm not joking. I wish I was actually an agent to sell it, because then I could make some money off of you guys. But, you know, seriously, definitely get it for your family, because it's not too much money. And if you do die and they get $200,000 or $300,000, I mean, it's the biggest, it's the greatest, it's the last gift that you can give. It's the last gift you can give. And I'm dead serious. My dad died when I was 8. We got like how much did we get? I don't even know how much we got. I honestly don't remember now, but I think it was like $300,000 total. And my mother blew the. We ruined that because she met some dickhead who like stole half of it. But the point is, that was a lot of money. We needed that. And honestly, if we fucking did it the right way, we would have saved it more. But it was a big deal, and so life insurance is important. So go make sure you get some life insurance. I'm not just joking. I'm dead serious. Get life insurance. You got kids? Get life insurance, guys.
Before you went dark, Joe, you kind of like you're in the middle of a Joe Cronin show, and then you went like, "Hi, I'm Joe Cronin, and make sure you get life insurance. And State Farm will always be for there." And I know it, Joe. You have this moment where you're talking wrestling, you're cursing, you're spitting, and then, "Hi, I'm Joe Cronin, and I'd like to sell you this next product. It's called Dead Be Gone. All you do is spray it on your corpse, and the smell goes away."
Perrier. It's citrus water.
When Billy Mays died,
yeah.
It was too soon. I made up a joke, and it was basically Billy Mays is a zombie, and he's like, "Hi, Billy Mays here with the product called Dead Be Gone. All you do is spray it on the corpse, and the smell goes away. Watch it. I'll spray it on me. The smell will go away."
Well, I think he wanted to spray some cocaine on himself. I think that would have been a little bit better. I think he would have been. He might have woken up for that. You spray some cocaine around him, the body just shoot right up. Bam! Billy Mays, I'm back. I don't even know. I apologize. I don't even know. Billy Mays may have been a good guy. I mean, I don't even know. I don't know him at all. It was actually terrible that he died. Billy Mays dying was shocking to me. That was crazy when he died. I don't know what the hell happened. It had to have been cocaine. I mean, I don't know what it was. Steve Irwin dying too. I mean, that was fucked up, Stingray, who the hell would see that coming? And I said years before, I hope this guy gets eaten by a fucking shark. I'm sticking my hand in right now, and it's really agitated. It's really upset at me. It's really trying to get me. I just want, I just wanted something to get him. You know what I mean? I don't
South
think
Park made a joke out of him. He's like, "I'm gonna get up and I'm gonna stick my finger up its butthole."
Yeah, I mean, that's what he did. He did shit like that. I mean, South Park made it funnier, but no, I didn't want him to die, obviously. I wanted him to get, like, tooled. I wanted, like, an alligator to bite him or something, and him to have some crazy scars on his back. I just wanted him to go through some shit, just once, just for all this shit he's doing to the animals and saying how they're mad at him and everything. I wanted something to take a piece of his ass, maybe lose one finger or something, that'd be nice. But definitely didn't want him to die, and the worst thing about it is his kids. Just awful. That dude was awesome, no doubt about it. That guy had some balls. I make fun of him, but he's got some balls. I wouldn't be doing what he was doing. And he great dad, I'm sure. Great family, and it's really sad what happened to him. But fucking a stingray after all that shit, a goddamn stingray. Are you kidding me?
Cronky.
I mean, that's why he died. You wouldn't see it coming. Who'd have saw the stingray coming? I mean, you could have put all this stuff on a list, like lion, bear, fucking this, that. You could have put deer on the list. I would have put stingray below that. I would have believed a fucking fawn would have teared his ass up before a stingray for some reason.
If he hadn't pulled that thing out of his chest, he would have survived. They would have been able to professionally cut that thing. But Irwin, being the professional that he is, said, okay.
Wait a minute. Oh, you giving quotations because I don't think he wasn't professional about that, right? If he ripped it out?
Yeah, like, they say when you pull, they say the best thing for you to do when you something pierces your body, that you leave it in there.
Yes.
And you let a professional take it out, because if you rip it out, you're going to do a lot more damage with internal bleeding.
That's right. You got to get there, get surgery. They're ready to, you know what I mean? Even if they do rip it out of you, they can stop the bleeding, or they can take an x-ray and see if they rip it out, what's going to happen when they rip it out. Is it going to unplug an artery? Is this what's going to happen? But you're right, just ripping it out is fucking stupid. And you're right, so he did that. I mean, we can't say, he's an idiot for ripping it out, because it's just instinctual to rip it out. You really have to have someone right there to be like, don't rip it out, you fucking... Because when something stabs you in the stomach, you want to go, and rip it out of you. That's just what you want to do. But you're right. I thought him being so badass and professional that he would have been like, I gotta leave it in. Oh, I gotta leave it in. Oh, give me the hospital. But no, he. You're right. So if he ripped it out, I don't know if that's true. It sounds like you know what happened. So I believe you. But if that's what he did, there was a problem right there. Shit. Guys, right now, if you're watching this, click the like button and make sure you go check out Tommy. TommyNC2010 on YouTube. Go check him out. He's been on Tosh.0 MTV. He's a guest on my show from time to time. He's a crazy son of a bitch. He's great. And I hope to have him regularly on the show. Tommy, you are like, you know what I'll tell you something about you is one thing you do for me. You know, we talk about how funny I can be and I'm an entertainer and I'm joking with all this other stuff. You give me some of the best material. Like, you allow me to be funny. You allow me to make fun of something you said, or you give me great material. You really do. I am thankful for what you do for me, because if there's no TommyNC2010 right now, I was actually about to do a video, but it wouldn't have been entertaining as this, I'll tell you that. So whatever you do, you bounce off of me really well, and you make me bounce off of you real well in everything you do. So I just want to let you know that it's really quite a gem to find you, and I'm not joking.
Thank you.
If I had
right now, that makes me feel real good, because right now I'm going through a tough time because I just
your testicle cancer.
What?
Your testicle cancer.
No, my grandfather passed away
goodness.
the other day.
With what?
My grandfather passed away. You actually liked the status.
Yeah, I saw that. I forgot, though. I forgot that happened. When did this happen?
I forgot what day it was.
It was a couple days ago.
So, okay, what happened was I was going to work.
Right.
And a lady from like a hospital called us and was asking for my uncle. And my mom was giving the phone number to her, but she was talking about my grandfather. He's like, yeah, sometimes he sleeps in. And I don't get it. Like, the lady wasn't telling us that he was dead. Like, he had passed on. No, Mr. Blankety Blankety. Well, the name is on my Facebook about his death. But she said Mr. Blankety Blankety is no longer with us. He's deceased. No, wow. She never said that. It took my mom to get a call from my cousin for her to say, Grampy passed away. Wow. And that's what I called him, Grampy.
I'll tell you why they didn't tell her, because they're not at liberty to give out information unless they know, there's a procedure that they can give out info. It sounds cold and dark because you just want to know what's going on with your family member, but there's a procedure and they don't know who they're talking to and things like that. So that's probably why that happened, as bad as that sounded to you guys, because you just wanted to know what the hell is going on. Did you see your grandfather regularly? Did you go to see him every once in a while here? Was he in a home type of thing, or a nursing home? Or
my grandfather was a trucker, and every summer I went down and saw him, and I rode with him all the time. And he would go back and forth between Orlando and Jacksonville. We had so much fun together. He would tell me things that I should have known, adult things, and we would have a great time.
Well, you were an adult. Oh, when you were little. This is when you were little, you're saying.
Yeah, when I was little, and he used to tell me so many things that I just couldn't believe that were true, and I really had a lot of fun with him. He was one of my favorite grandparents. Like, when my grandmother passed away, it was hard, but this right here with my grandfather, I really had a connection with that man, because he really came down on my level. And he really was there for me. He told me one time, he said, Tommy, I wish I could honestly take my brain and take out your brain and put my brain inside your head so you could not have these disabilities. And sometimes he didn't sugarcoat things. He was always, that's how grandfathers are. They don't sugarcoat things. They always say the things that they want to say.
You don't get time for that. Yeah, you don't get time for that, so they got to go right to the point with you, which is great, by the way. It's something their kids might not have gotten to hear. But yeah, man, that's terrible. I'm sorry about that. How old was he?
He was 94.
Wow. How like cognizant was he now in his 94s, 93s?
I'll tell you what. The one day it hit me. I said I need to call him, and I did. I called him. It took me 3 times to get a hold of him, and on the 3rd time, I got a hold of him, and he said hello, and I'm like, Grampy, Grampy, how you doing? He's like, oh, and I'm like, did I wake you up? And he's like, yeah, you did. You woke me up, and I'm like, oh, do you want me to go? And he's like, no, no, no. What's up? And I'm like, I talked to him, and we had a decent conversation. He's like, we have to do this more, Tommy. We do. I need to call you more. I need to remember to call you. And I said, no, Grampy, I need to remember to call you. And we talked. I told him I loved him, and he told me he loved me. And I said, I'll see you, Grampy. And I hung up the phone, and I said to myself, I gotta call him more. I gotta. And no less than I said I was gonna call him.
Yeah.
My mom calls me, and I'm getting ready to go into work, and she says, Grampy died this morning, and I was in my store, and I just broke down. It was seriously, it hit me right here in the heart, and I was, I don't believe in saying goodbye. I honestly don't. I believe I will see you down the road, and I will see you in heaven. That's my philosophy.
Yeah.
And I think people are wasting their breath when they say goodbye. And I think that, and then they say, Tommy, why don't you say goodbye? I was like, I'm going to see him later. And like, what do you mean by that? I'm like, when I die, I'll see him in heaven. I'll see my grandmother. I'll see everybody I've lost in heaven.
Well, you know, Tommy, that's a good thing to think like. I mean, that's how my mother thinks. My mother thinks the same way. I mean, most people think that something like that. And
some people are assholes, and they of course people have a right to their own opinion. I'm not demeaning any other religions. And some people, well, here's the thing: people have other religions.
Tommy, I don't believe in any of this. I think we go in the dirt, and that's it.
That's your opinion. I'm not going to attack you. I'm not going to say the Holy Christ is with your soul. You're right. But
I don't like it. I don't like it either, Tommy. I don't like that. I don't like that. I think or I feel like I know this. And I don't know this. I am still open-minded. Don't get me wrong. I am very open-minded still. I really don't know what happens, but I really, based on everything I'm looking around at and seeing, with and how things go, you know, I think we just don't exist anymore, and that is the scariest thing in the world. By the way, I wish that I knew I was going to see everyone. I wish I said I know I'm going to see everyone afterwards anyway. I wish that's what I said or felt, because if I felt like that, I would feel so much better about everything, because I would not worry. But I desperately want you to say goodbye to me. If you were dying, or if somebody was dying, I would desperately want to say goodbye to you, because I am terrified that is what's going to happen. And why most people don't go with that philosophy and they go with religion and heaven is because nobody wants to be terrified. And you can decide on your own. And if you're going to decide something on your own, why would you want to decide that you just go away and nothing happens? No, you'd want to decide we're going to heaven. You'd want to believe that. You'd want to know that, and maybe you just do believe that. So either way, but I wish I was like you, because I would be a much happier person for sure. I'm terrified. You know what I mean? There's no doubt about it. But here's the other thing. It's just like think of a time when the universe began. You can't think of it. It just was always here. If I tell you the universe was always here, it's hard to fathom something never beginning, or not knowing when it began. So people can't deal with that, Tommy. They can't deal with thinking that nothing ever began. It had to begin somewhere. So the scientists say Big Bang Theory. The religious people say God, you know? I don't believe either one necessarily, because neither one can really be proven. I do believe the Big Bang thing, something like that, is more believable to me, because it's something in science and space that, you know, how we exist. But for other people, it's God. You know what I mean? So either way, whichever side you're on, but I'm on neither side, which is, again, a scary thing.
And also, Joe, you were saying that you wish you could be me. Honestly, Joe, I want to say that you wouldn't want to be me, honestly, because
I don't want to be you. I don't want to be you, Tommy. I want to be. I wish I had I wish I had those feelings like you do. I don't want. I don't want to. I don't want to be you. You don't want to be me. Nobody. We should all be ourselves. That's what I think. But I just. I wish I had. You know what I mean? I don't know. I wish I felt that that was the truth, because I would be a much more sane person. You know, some people think that you get 7 virgins if you kill people when you go up there. You know, see, the more you can believe something good's going to happen when you die, the more you could justify everything. Oh, this person went away, I'll see him again. Oh, if I kill somebody, if I kill these infidels, I'm going to get sex by these women when I go to, you know. So the more you can believe something good's going to happen, the more comfortable you are with whatever it is. If you're a Muslim extremist, you can kill innocent people because you think you're killing the infidels, and you're going to get these virgins when you go to heaven. You know what I mean? If you're a Christian, you don't mind, you know, that you go to church and that all these other things happen, and because you believe you're going to go to heaven, so it's okay. So it's 2 different ways of doing it, but it's how your mind justifies it. But to me, I don't kneel on Sunday at 2:00 because my religion says so. I don't read a book that was written by humans that was also changed multiple times, but said it's the word of God. I don't think that we should kill people because they're gay because my religion says I'm not going to go to heaven if we don't do that. You know, I don't believe any of that stuff because it's crazy. It's all crazy to me. But I am jealous of people who are you know, like you said, like you, that just have that feeling about heaven and stuff like that. And you could be right. And I don't know what's going to happen. I really don't know. And I think, but there's times I catch myself saying, oh, I hope there's a heaven. I really do. I really hope there's a heaven because I want to see everybody. I want to see everybody up there. Or maybe we move to another dimension. I don't know what it's going to be, but I'd love it to happen.
You know, Joe, my father, he's my adoptive father. I was adopted, and as a baby.
Me too. As we both know, we both were adopted as babies.
My father told me something very deep and personal the other day. He said to me that when they adopted my brother, that they were happy as a family. They didn't want anything else.
Yeah.
And apparently, the preacher that contacted my father said that the Holy Spirit contacted him and said that there's a child in need. And he needs help. He needs somebody to take care of him. And so the preacher contacted my father, and that night he sat down with my brother and my mother, and they prayed, and he said that he physically heard the Holy Spirit say, yes, this child needs you, and you should take him into your family. And my father tells me, you know, like he has his times with me and flusterizations, but he is proud of me because I have done a lot with the pieces that I have of my brain, and that I struggle with a lot of things, but I manage to function. And I said a long time ago, I said I want to become an image on the internet, and I became that image. I worked hard for it. I took my bumps. I went 12 rounds in the ring, tied my boots up every single night, and I'm still taking my bumps. I'm still trying to main event my matches and still trying to provide the best show I can put on and just do what I can and just try to live life as I might not be here tomorrow.
Well,
honestly, I could honestly get off the phone from here and have a massive heart attack in my sleep. And
what are you, 50?
25.
You're not having a heart attack? Get the fuck out of here. I'm bringing this thing back to comedy now, Tommy. You ain't gonna die. You're 25, dude. You're rolling. You know who's gonna die? Maybe like someone like Boogie might have a heart attack. For Christ's sake. You're 25. You ain't going nowhere. What was this Jim Morrison talk? What are you going to do, some drugs later? Cut the shit out. You're going to fucking live, dude. You're tooling it. You're on Tosh Point. You've been on television. I mean, I haven't been on television. I've been on radio. Well, I've been in television in the UK. But you know what I mean? Like, you were on Tosh Point. You were on MTV. You've got the YouTube. Everything is going great. Let's not bullshit everybody. We're doing really good right now. I'm about to hit 20,000 subscribers tonight, or maybe tonight or by tomorrow morning. And you know something? Your show is great too, and you provide something. Everybody helps everybody. Remember those radio guys who were kind of marking on you or were shitting on you, the youngin' dudes. I understood what they were doing because you were gold. You were giving them gold, but the thing was, when I use you as gold, you have to have some kind of respect. And they said they did, but I didn't see it. I think they were just tooling on you. I'll tool on you too, but you're on my show. I'm gonna promote your show. You're on my show, and if we shit on each, make some jokes about me, and I make some jokes about you, I think it's even. You know what I mean? And we're having fun and we're promoting you. But you do something for me that's special, and you were doing something for them that was special too. But they were just kind of disrespecting it a little bit, and that's what I didn't like about it. Because their show was pretty good, but I just didn't. I think they didn't care about you. I care about you. You're like it's like when you have a brother, and I never had a brother, but I know what it's like. It's like you and your brother, you guys might shit on each other a little bit. You know what I mean? You make fun of each other a little bit, but if someone else makes fun of your brother, you better look out. Nobody does that to my brother. And that's what I'm like, and that's what I think that reminded me of. But the point of this whole thing was, this is goddamn gold what we're doing tonight. I mean, no doubt about it. Tommy, do you besides 2K, are you playing video games right now?
I like playing Grand Theft Auto. I do
because you get to kill people. I get that. Yeah. What's your favorite part of Grand Theft Auto? When you continuously stomp on someone's head and the blood splatters everywhere, right?
No, driving the cars around and actually getting a big tractor trailer and driving down the opposite side of the road.
Yeah. You know what, Tommy? I agree with that. That's my favorite thing too. In fact, I always go to play the game and do the missions and things, and then I find myself, I see a truck and I can't help it. I see a semi, and I'm like, you know what? Fuck this mission. I'm getting in this semi truck, and I'm going to plow people over, and I'm just going to plow people down. That's a guilty pleasure. You're right. I'm like that too, man. I've got a lot of ADD as well. I've got ADD, ADHD. I'm a little bit crazy. So like if sometimes objectives, I do the same thing. I've heard other people say you got to go to this guy, then you do that, and then when you get this thing, this happens. My brain just goes, fuck that. Let's just crash into people. You know what I mean? So I'm totally there with you. I mean, I don't have what you have with autism, but I have a, you know what I mean? I have ADD and stuff like that too. I have to work really hard, even at work. My work, I have to be very careful. I have to be very organized. I have to organize things so when I go to use them, they're easily accessible. If anything gets unorganized, which is easy because I am unorganized and messy, I start struggling with things. So I totally get it. And you're talking to a guy who didn't graduate high school. I got a GED. You know what I mean? And then I went to college after that, but I got a GED. I didn't even graduate high school, for God's sake. I mean, the only class last time I passed was 9th grade. Then GED was stupid. It wasn't even that hard. And for someone like me, I should have been able to easily pass it, and I did. But it's interesting. By the way, when they give you this GED, I was telling this to Leah. I was looking at Leah's diploma the other day. I could have gone to summer school and got my high school diploma. I just said F it, I'm out. But the GED diploma is like gigantic. It's huge. It's like this big fucking plaque. And the high school diploma, I was looking at Leah's, and it's like this. It's like the size of this tablet right here. And it's the funniest thing ever. It's like you actually graduated high school, they give you a little plaque. I get a GED and they make it huge. It's like, but you'd want it to be smaller, because if it was smaller, you could say that's my high school diploma over there, and nobody would know. But GED, it was like more of a punishment. Like, look at how big this is. General equivalence. Like, you can't hang that shit up. It's too easy for people to see that. Tommy, did you graduate high school?
Yes, I did. See?
I didn't do that. Joe Cronin didn't do that. You did it.
Actually, my thing was a lot tiny bit smaller. It looked like a wallet.
Really?
For goodness. Yeah, I don't know where it is right now.
That's unbelievable, dude.
Of course, I was in the special ed program, and apparently I
you cheated. That's why. No, I'm just kidding.
they actually told me, they said, well, here's the thing, when you're in the special ed department, you
Yeah.
can't go to any big colleges like Harvard and stuff like that. And I was like, damn it. I'm like, is there
Yeah.
any way I can get out of this class? They're like, no, Tommy, sit down, shut up.
No, you took that test earlier, and 2 + 3 equaled purple. No, Tommy, I know what you're saying. And in fact, you know what? The reason why I failed school is because pretty much I didn't go and shit. I like that. It looks like you.
No, actually, it's Ricky from Trailer Park Boys.
No, yeah, Trailer Park Boys. Man, everyone's always telling me to watch that shit.
It is. It's a good show. It's funny.
It is good. I mean, Dave Rose loves it. He's like, you have to watch that. That is something I do have to watch, and I'm going to get to that soon. I have seen some of it, and it was really funny. And if I'm telling you, if I didn't work and shit, I would be watching the shit out of that.
My impression of Bubbles, taking care of my kitties, doing this all day. You and Ricky always talking about dope, and I just can't take this anymore.
I'm gonna kill myself. No,
he's not that way.
No, don't do that, folks.
Bubbles.
No, it's not like that. But no, it's you know, it's very interesting. I don't know. It's a wild world out there. And Tommy, you play Grand Theft Auto. What about WWE? Have you been playing that at all? Do you ever? No.
Well, I do not have a PlayStation 4. I did have a Xbox 360, and then it crapped out on me when I bought the PlayStation. When I bought the game for the system, and it was perfect. And then I moved the device. I moved the game console, and the laser went schizo on me, and it went zzz, and then fried the. Absolutely fried the CD, and I bought $50 on another game, and put it into that same console where the CD.
You moved it while it was playing, didn't you?
Yeah, the other one. Yeah, I moved it.
If anyone's out there, if you're younger, if you move a 360 or most video game systems, if you move it and you start jiggling it side to side, and the game's in there spinning, it's going to go off kilter, and it will scratch the game up. It will do a straight... Did it do that straight ring around, just scratch ring around?
Like a laser. It was like a zip.
Right. You know why I know that, Tommy? Because I've done it. Because I did it. That's right. Mr. GED over here, Cronin, did it. So take that, you bunch of shit bums.
The 5 rings of death, you mean?
Oh, I've done that. We've had that many times. That's a glitch with the Xbox. But no, I sent my Xbox 360 in 3 times. 3 different times I sent it in. They sent me a new one. It was great.
Oh, they fixed mine, and they sent it back to me, and then I get the 3 rings of death, and I'm just like, you know what? Screw Xbox 360.
I loved Xbox.
Nintendo 64.
I'm so disappointed, man. I loved Xbox so much, and they ruined it, dude. Xbox Halo 5 is such a it's okay, but it's a disappointment too. It's unbelievable, man. Can't play split screen. What, Leah?
Can you take like 5 minutes
Ow!
to some ice water before I die?
Yeah, I'll get you something because I'm gonna stop this anyway. You want to drink the Windex?
Before the baby kills herself.
Okay, I'll get the Windex. All right, Tommy, dude, this was a great talk we had here, and I'll come up with some sort of name for this. And it was a really good talk, man. I think we did good. I think I'd love to do this. This is when I do this on Friday nights, man. We don't have to be up this late next time, but we'll do this whenever you want. I think this is a great talk. It's very interesting talking to you, what you do. And,
Are you still recording right now?
I am still recording, yeah. You want to say goodbye before we say something else?
Yeah, just want to say I'm TommyNC2010, and one of my main goal is 20,000 subscribers. And come check out the Tommy Network. Check out the Joe Cronin Network too. Let's do this.
Oh my God, that's Brock Lesnar, the rapist, right there. Yeah. I'm gonna clip that and I'm gonna put it over his face. Guys, thanks for watching. Me and Tommy will see you. Go check him out. TommyNC2010 on YouTube. Been on Tosh.0, all kinds of stuff, and he's an entertaining guy with positivity and craziness, and you can see him here on the Joe Cronin Show. Click that like button if you can. Hope you can share, subscribe, do all that stuff, and we'll see you here with more videos every day. And thank you guys in advance for 20,000, and now we just got to get TommyNC2010 there. Maybe 10,000 is your next goal. I mean, you're at 4,000, so the next goal 10,000, and after 10,000, you do 20,000. I mean, I never thought I would get to 10,000. All right, guys, we'll see you later. Have a good night.
You're listening to The Joe Cronin Show.